So Bitcoin spent most of 2025 above $90,000. Ethereum also was holding pretty steady. Everyone was talking about crypto finally grew up and became a mature asset class. Sounds great, right? Well, here's the thing. If you're holding altcoins, your experience was probably very different, like dramatically different. The split between what happened to Bitcoin and what happened to everything else is really worth digging into. Today, we're going to break down what actually happened in 2025, look why it played out that way, and talk about what this means for crypto markets right now. Of course, we're going to be diving into a lot of market research and some real data in this video. So as always, guys, sit back, relax, and get ready for the video. Before we go any further into today's video, though, I do want to make something very clear. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing in this video is in fact financial advice. Zero. This is purely educational content to help you understand what happened in the past in these markets. Crypto is, of course, extremely risky, and you can and potentially will lose all of your money investing into it. Also, if you're watching this from the UK, USA, or UAE, please do not watch my content. Do not engage with my content or any of the links down below. This is not directed at you. So let's get into the video. But here's where it gets interesting. For everyone waiting for that magical altcoin season where everything goes crazy, you know that one that's always just seems to be exactly round the corner, and it never quite actually shows up. According to Wintermute's data in 2025, there was a 4-year cycle, and that actually died. Like I previously said in my last video, if you want to know more about the 4-year cycle, definitely check out my video which I recently posted. Instead of those nice predictable seasonal swings which we used to see in the market, it just kind of chopped, and then we didn't see a 4-year cycle happen again, as of not yet. This was a historical pattern where often October saw an increase in crypto activity previously, and that pattern did not show up in 2025. Activity was strong early in the year, and then it just softened through spring and summer. The excitement about the pro-crypto administration faded fast, and by the end of Q1, people were already losing interest. The meme coin craze died down, AI agents went quiet, and then Trump announced these tariffs in April, which was practically the nail in the coffin for a lot of people's crypto portfolios. Now, here's the wild part. It's not like money stopped coming into crypto, it just got stuck. Trading activity got super concentrated in Bitcoin and Ethereum only, and a few select altcoins got some attention, but that was basically it. The money came in, hit the major coins, and then just stayed there. This happened because of how money enters crypto now. It's mostly through ETFs and these digital asset treasury companies. And while everyone cheered when these launched because institutional adoption, they actually created somewhat of a problem. Think about it like this. An ETF that's approved to hold only Bitcoin legally cannot sell Bitcoin to then go ahead and buy Solana. It doesn't matter if Solana goes up 50% or if Solana looks incredible. The fund literally cannot do it. They're locked into holding whatever is in their prospectus. It's the same thing with these corporate treasuries sitting on billions in Bitcoin. They can't just wake up and decide to rotate into altcoins. Corporate governance won't allow it. Shareholders wouldn't be happy. So that money simply stays locked in place, whether you like it or not. So we've got this institutional money coming in, which is absolutely amazing, except it can only really go into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Everything below gets starved. In the old days, like back in 2020, money would flow pretty freely. Someone buys Bitcoin with Tether on Binance, Bitcoin gets boring, they rotate it into Ethereum, and the profits even spill into other things like DeFi, NFTs, and smaller coins. Everyone used the same platforms, liquidity usually moved around. That world is completely gone. The money just comes in through these new channels and it just sits there. No rotation, no spillover, just stuck. I think I can't make a video about altcoins without talking about October 10th. If you were in crypto in 2025, of course you remember this day. It was the biggest liquidation event in crypto history by a long way. Trump announced new 100% tariffs on Chinese goods, and crypto just absolutely nuked, like way harder than stocks or any other market. To this day, people still debate why crypto got hit much worse. The numbers are absolutely insane. 19 billion in open interest liquidated in just a few hours. Before this happened, total interest was sitting at around 230 billion, with around 70 billion of that in altcoins. People were leveraged up, betting on that rotation, which never actually came. The liquidations were absolutely brutal. That 70 billion in altcoin positions, by mid-December, it was down to around 30 billion. But here's what's really interesting. After everything settled, retail traders didn't return to altcoins. They didn't try to rebuild their positions. Instead, they took whatever was left of their money and moved it into Bitcoin or Ethereum. Yeah, after getting destroyed, people gave up on the moonshot dream and just parked it in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and let the dreams of 100x completely die. Let's not forget also Cosmos's Atom token briefly crashed from $4 to literally 0.001 on Binance. That's not some random meme coin or some illegitimate cryptocurrency. It's an actual big project which crashed to basically nothing on Binance. If you don't have enough liquidity, things can get dangerous really, really quick. If there's a significant moment which the altcoin season officially died, then it's October 10th. So why did retail stop showing up in the first place? Well, they had other places to put their money. Wintermute looked into other markets and the numbers are pretty brutal for crypto. Space stocks were up 64% for the year, quantum computing gained 34%, and AI stocks even climbed around 31%. Meanwhile, Bitcoin was down 7%, Ethereum dropped 15%, and altcoins fell 18% on average. The data shows retail activity moved towards other sectors. The AI hype was everywhere, tech stocks were outperforming many other things, and space companies were gaining much more attention than previously. And these assets could be traded through regular brokerage accounts without the complexities specified to crypto itself. Basically, crypto stopped being the most excited asset class in town and people started to look elsewhere. The report also shows how different regions act in different times. When tariffs hit early in the year, US and Europe were still buying while Asia was still selling hard. Europe gradually sold through the summer, the US started selling more towards the end of the year when the Fed started making hawkish noises. Different parts of the world were doing different things. No unified global movement. So here's something wild. You know how crypto has always had these narratives, AI, meme coins, DeFi, whatever the flavor of the month is. In 2024, when the narrative took hold, it lasted around 61 days. The whole 2 months of sustained attention. In 2025, the window collapsed to 19 days, less than 3 weeks from start to finish. Think about that. By the time the information becomes wildly known throughout various channels, the market dynamics have completely already shifted. The report says that because of market fatigue, people just got too many times and stopped believing in crypto. Sure, there were still different narratives about perp dexes and other things playing out, but people had simply just not believed the hype anymore and been burnt too much to continue in crypto. So now I'm going to get a little bit technical in this part of the video and understand why Bitcoin couldn't simply break higher in the past. Over-the-counter derivatives platforms exploded in 2025. Wintermute's options volume went up 2.5%, but it's not to say that more people weren't trading options. It's how they were using them. Back in 2020, most options volumes was retail buying calls, basically a lottery ticket betting that Bitcoin would hit 200K. You pay for the option, and if Bitcoin moves, you win big. If not, you lose what you paid. It's pretty simple. That creates buying pressure because everyone's betting in the same direction. Price movements affected these positions. But in 2025, institutions started selling these calls instead. They own Bitcoin and they sell you the call option and they pocket the premium. It's like yield farming, but with options. The problem is when you're selling lottery tickets, you don't want the jackpot to hit too often. Here's how it works. If Bitcoin starts rallying hard after they sold you that call, they're now on the hook to deliver Bitcoin at below market price. So what do? They have to sell their actual Bitcoin to hedge the risk. The bigger rally, the more they have to sell. This is called delta hedging and is totally normal in risk management, not manipulation or anything, but it creates different market dynamics than we are used to. When Bitcoin price rises significantly, this creates selling pressure from institutions managing their options to exposure. The house structure is designed to eliminate extreme payouts. So the old market had gamblers buying effectively lottery tickets, creating explosive demand. And the new market is selling lottery tickets and hedging by selling into rallies. That's why Bitcoin stayed range bound even with all this institutional money coming in. So Wintermute's conclusion is that what they call a traditional 4-year cycle showed less predictive power in 2025. Historical patterns like post-halving behavior and certain rotational patterns were less evident. What could change things? They list 3 possibilities. 1, ETF mandates expand to include more altcoins. There are already a bunch of altcoin ETF applications sitting with regulators. If they do get approved, institutional money could then flow more than just into Bitcoin and Ethereum. But this is a massive big if. It, of course, does not guarantee anyone will buy them. 2, Bitcoin appreciates significantly. The report suggests that if price moves substantially higher, it could create conditions where there's some kind of structural constraints could potentially be effective. Maybe corporate treasuries might rebalance or funds may take profits, but this would require a significant price movement beyond current levels and faces headwind of institutions selling to cover calls against their holdings, like we previously discussed. And third, attention simply returns to crypto. Stocks plateau, the AI hype cools off, and retail comes back with fresh money and enthusiasm. The report calls the least likely option to happen. Of course, it makes sense. All right, so that's pretty much what happened previously in 2025. The market structure completely changed in ways that probably aren't reversing. Money flows a lot differently now. Narratives burn out faster, and derivatives are being used in ways to suppress volatility rather than amplifying it. None of the information in this video, of course, tells you what to do with your money. That's your decision completely, based on your own market analysis, your own research, and from your own financial advisor. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, and if you're watching this in the UK, USA, and the UAE, you should not be watching this, of course, and you should not interact with anything said or done in this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I really do appreciate the video, and let me know your comments down below what you think will happen with altcoins this year. It'll be very interesting to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.